This is the exact process that I took to add extra income to the business. I've always been a big fan of how about know, like and trust, build a personal brand that you get known, so that investor comes in before, pays you a sum, so then you can go and bespokely find them a service. I want to talk you through 3 things that's going to make you very special. After this, I'm going to make you feel like actually the deal sourcing that you've been offering hasn't been nowhere near to what you can offer and how you can transition yourself into that service. Now, if you're new to the property world or property investing world and new to my channel, my name is Piers. I've owned and sold a estate agency about 6 years ago. Currently, I help people with growing their brand on short-term rental businesses. We've helped clients all over the world, especially UK, Dubai, US. We've worked in Spain, Portugal, and the list carries on. But this video, with my experience, I really want to dive into what is property sourcing, and this is video 1 about understanding rent-to-rent property sourcing for service accommodation, especially around the Airbnb market. I'm so excited to share you this because fast forward 5 years, we worked with so many property sourcing companies who run their own Airbnb short-term rental management company, and we've got 4 series in this video, so I really want you to stick in. I want to make it as engaging as possible so that you guys get to learn the process but also implement it as you go. And if you're watching this video, you want to understand what rent-to-rent sourcing on service accommodation businesses, especially what can you charge, what can you be so unique and different in. But in this video, I really want to break it down into what exactly is the process on rent-to-rent service accommodation deal sourcing services. Today's video kind of put me back into that 5 years journey that I've had, especially around what is deal packaging for service accommodation. So effectively what you are doing is you're finding an investor and you are going out there and actually finding a property which is obviously firstly agreed by the landlord or the estate agent to be used as a short-term rental service accommodation. You are then, as a part of deal packaging service or deal sourcing service, you're doing the right due diligence. Remember, the investor who's paid you the sum is for you to be able to go and find the right deal, the right property, the right numbers to make sure. Now, again, we'll talk about in the next video, we're going to talk about numbers and the more detail into it. But also, this is the basic, right? An investor is going to obviously come and work with you. Now, in this video, not only I want to talk about what is a deal sourcing process, I really want to make sure that you are special, because a lot of time, if you look at the deal sourcing world, people are selling deal. People are building an investor list. People are then going and selling those deal to investors. So a couple of years back, I really sat down and think, well, how can I go and get myself more business? And one of the things we did really well was we worked with a lot of local investors, property investors. We're doing builds and stuff like that. But also one of our clients who used to come in and just take properties off our hand and gone and said, oh, we're going to do company there where we're going to run it as Airbnb, and our landlords were getting amazing deal. And then quickly I realized that we're giving this company the property without charging them a kind of a finder's fee, right? And we're letting out the property, whereas there's effectively an option for us to say, hey, actually we can source this deal out, and there's a lot of investors who's willing to take those deals. So the fact that as a estate agency we were waiting months and months trying to get our 1% fee, right, which is 1% on an average value of 350 grand is £3,500, whereas I quickly realized that actually there was investors out there who were willing to pay £3,000 or depending on the different services you provided on a sourcing of a rent-to-rent service accommodation deal. And that was perfectly placed because we were a estate agent and a letting agents. We were offering a completely different service. So this is a secret that I want to give you, and I can tell you today we see a lot of people, and this 3 things for you as a property sourcer or a property sourcing company would absolutely change the game, especially if you're starting, because you want to show the care that you provide to your customer, especially the investor that's going to trust you. So the first one I want to talk about is obviously you go and source them. You go and source a property as a company, as a property sourcing agent. However, the second thing a lot of people don't do is after they source, they let the client and they take the money and they just go, okay, we've given you the product, we've given you the unit and the property, off they go. What we normally thought was, did you ever ever run through a mentorship? Do you understand how? Oh yeah, they do. But actually, to be able to consult them on the process, right? If you're doing a property sourcing business, you must have an understanding of how they're going to go and make money, because effectively you're selling them a service where you're saying property's worth, well, the rent is worth this much, the nightly rate is this much. There's a reason why you're going to get occupancy rate and, you know, the high, the low and everything. But you should be able to consult them in a more different way where they physically understand the process. So one of the things I realized in this process is to make yourself different, you can literally create a 4 weeks plan for this client. You know, nowadays Google Drive, very easy to implement, but you can put a consulting program for them effectively on the same cost. So you're now giving them a whole breakdown of, as soon as you consult or get them the property, you should say them, well, you should do this, you should do this, you should speak to agent, you sign off. Give them like literally a point by point plans or step by step process till they actually go. And finally, the third thing you want to do, and if you're confident on your service, is launching the property with them. Because I can assure you today, as a property sourcer, you're going to be, you know, you're going to be in the industry long enough if you have the best interest for your investor, which means if you're confident on your deal, you should be confident to launch a property with a client, which means you should physically sit with them once you've completed the source, guide them on the setup and everything, and then tell them, let's launch, let's hit the button to go live together. Now that itself will give the investor a lot more, you know, for you as well, not just for the investor, but for you, a lot more credibility, right? And that process of what I call source them, consult them, and launch with them. They're the three things that's going to make you set apart as a property sourcing individual, as a property sourcing company in this business right now in 2024. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode of understanding, you know, property sourcing in general for rent-to-rent service accommodation. I've now got 3 more videos coming out where I talk about the know, like, and trust process, especially thinking about how you can go and find an investor first who's willing to put their commitment, their trust with you in return to your service, and exactly what we said right now. If you package this service in the best way possible and create a plan for your client, the investor who is speaking to different sourcing company is going to trust you more because of exactly what we've discussed. The 3 different things that you're offering. You're not just offering them the sourcing, you're offering them the consulting and the launch plan as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I am going to be back with another episode. I really want you to go and take action, create that consulting plan that we've just discussed, and create a launch plan, and let's catch up in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and I'll be back with another video soon.